Okay, this is the last section for lesson 2.6. So in chapter 1, we did graphing ordered pairs 2, but remember we only worked in quadrant 1. And remember I showed you that when there was 4 quadrants that we would eventually be working with. So just recall a couple of things, that this is your y, this is your x-axis, this is your quadrant 1. Remember it makes a C. So then it goes like this around. This is quadrant 2, Roman numerals. This is quadrant 3. This is quadrant 4. Remember we discussed this in chapter 1. Remember I said to you, everything in quadrant 1 is all your positive values, and directly across has all your negative values. Quadrant 2, remember it has x values that are negative because it's to the left of 0, and up means positive, and quadrant 4 would be the reverse of that. Okay, so all we're going to do is graph some points. So write the ordered pairs for P. Here's P. It's in what quadrant? It's in quadrant 4. So your ordered pairs would be ordered pair 4, comma, negative 2. So there it is, right there. Point Q is in quadrant 3. So it would be ordered pair negative 3, 1. Don't forget your parentheses. Remember it's X then Y. Point R is not in a quadrant. It's on the X axis, and you would write 2, comma, 0. So it went to the right 2, but it didn't go up or down. So M, N, and P. Make sure you pause it and can find each one of those easily. Graph and label each point on the coordinate, then name the quadrant. Well, if they're both negatives, remember what I said? Everything here is positive. Everything here is negative. This is quadrant 1, 2, 3. So you graph it, it's going to end up in quadrant 3, and there's your point S. Pause it, try to find this one. This is your negative positives. It's going to end up in quadrant 2. There it is. This one isn't going to end up in a quadrant. It's going to end up on an axis. What axis will it end up on? Right, the y-axis. So it's not in a quadrant, it's on an axis. So same process with this. Pause it and try to do it. And here's A, quadrant 4. There's B, quadrant 2. And C, not in a quadrant, it's on the x-axis. The difference between two integers is 4. If the x represents the first integer and y is subtracted from it, make a table of possible values for x and y and then graph it. So here we are. So the difference between two integers is 4. So think about that. The difference between two integers equals 4. X is the first one and y is subtracted from it. So you're doing x minus y, you want it to equal 4. So what you do is you just pick some values for x, any value you want for x, but then you have to think about what does the y value have to be in order to make positive 4. Don't forget adding opposite. So this one would be 2 minus negative 2. This would be 1 minus negative 3. This would be 0 minus negative 4. And if you could see, you can see the pattern right away. So it's easy to figure out what the next one's going to be. So I'm just showing you and reminding you that you add opposite. That's how that makes 4. That's why that makes 4. That's why that makes 4, and so on. Okay? And then you go ahead and graph them. Makes a very linear positive line. And then you do it again. This time you want x plus y to equal 3. And again, you pick any value you want for x. Whoops. You pick any value you want for x, and then figure out what y needs to be. I always try to make them consistent. So start at 0 and go 1, 2, 3. So 0 plus what equals 3? Well, 0 plus 3. 1 plus what equals 3? And then you can see the pattern. 3, 2, 1, 0. And then you can graph it. And that's all there is to chapter 2. Good luck.